You know, the language changed.
And what was the environment like, compared to when you could walk to Parliament then versus, trying to do something now?
Well, now, we are living in a police state, Andre. You just don't walk to Parliament unless you are a pro-authority artist or activist. Right now your bonds will be broken. People
Okay.
have pledged that your bonds will be broken. So that is the state. So I was just trying to emphasize a point that government has been sitting on a lot of project proposals, and as long as artists have been quiet, nothing has been happening. The land issue, for example, Zambia Association of Musicians has land today because we spoke out at Brian Chilada's funeral. We had no venue to host the funeral.
Okay.
Artists do not have infrastructure. I'm sure even BJ will tell you they don't own Lusaka Playhouse, Lusaka Theatre Club.
Yes, well, that is held in trust, I believe. That
Yes,
it's under the, yeah.
So it's not for artists. So artists do not have space. You go to Mulungushi as an artist, they'll charge you 60,000 kwacha. Where do you get 60,000 kwacha from? So when we spoke at Brian Chilada's funeral, spontaneously the Minister of Lands stood up and pledged land to the Zambia Association of Musicians, land which they have acquired now.
Okay. Okay.
So, we can't run away from, the politics of the day, because the politicians will always need you when it's convenient for them. Not when it's convenient for you.
We talked about this. So in fact, Henry actually raised this issue about let's not politicize this, this gesture by the state. Let's just take it, face value for what it is and be grateful. But this now is why I asked the question in terms of when you say artists don't have their own space. Imagine that 30 million kwacha being put into a facility that now belongs to the artists, if I can put it that way.
Yeah.
So, a building with studios, with rehearsal facilities, with instruments that are available, that can now be managed under maybe the National Arts Council or maybe ZAM or whatever it is, or a new conglomerate that merges all the bodies into this one, unit. What do you think about that?
It's a brilliant idea. Let's wait for the proposals to come through, if there are any proposals, but the way this thing has been explained, it's that it's a fund, a loan facility for young artists. So depending on how they want to use that money, the young artists are at liberty to think of those positive developments. So it's for me again, it comes back to the administration. Because if you talk of equipment, for example, National Arts Council has equipment. When you look at the state of that equipment, I don't know whether it belongs to ZAM now, because I haven't been up to date with the internal affairs of ZAM or National Arts Council.
Okay.
But they had equipment. The question is, how many artists did that equipment benefit? What is the state of that equipment? So it all comes back to management. You can give anybody any amount of money, Andre. Like BJ said, if you don't have the capacity to do business and pay back the loan, then what is the use of giving you that money?
Exactly. Well, not everyone may have the same discipline, but they've got the ideas, which is why maybe the idea of doing it through associations or registered bodies or members of these bodies go through their associations so that the accountability is there.
Exactly. It's encouraged, that the funds are dispersed through member associations, affiliate associations. Otherwise, already even the fund itself, why we insist that it's political. You've heard the Minister of Tourism and the Arts himself emphasizing, this fund is for artists, not activists. What does that tell you? It tells you that they're acting from the actions of the activists.
Okay.
So whether we like it or not, it's already a politicized fund.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's an interesting take. The conversation continues. Don't forget, I'd just like to remind our listeners, with me in the studio we have